So here from Chicago, we are with Srini and Sai. Both are big contributors to the Appium community. Yesterday we had a Appium advanced workshop with Srini and Sai. Could you introduce yourselves?
Yep. Myself Srinivasan Sekar, Appium member, maintainer of Appium's Java client, Docker client, and work as a lead consultant for ThoughtWorks. Yep.
My name is Sai Krishna and I work with ThoughtWorks. I'm a lead consultant as well. I'm an active contributor to Appium and I'm passionate about open source and sort of want to give back to the community my learnings. And yeah.
So the question that arises with a lot of testers is why is Appium test slower than web testing?
Yeah. To start with, the DOM interactions will be taken care mostly by parsing, and DOM interactions been taken care mostly by, and it's a separate process and taken care mostly by browser specific drivers, whereas we need to do the heavy lifting from Appium side instead of Apple helping us or Google helping us a lot. So that's one of the reason. And the DOM passing in XML, then it needs to be converted to JSON, and then again it has to be sent to native libraries inside the device, and then the execution after that. So whereas in mobile, it's gonna be Chrome driver directly, and then Chrome driver establishes the communication and talks to the web browsers. So.
And just to add another point is I would say that the app should be testable. So when I say testable, you need to have the right DOM exposed out. So let me give a quick example to sort of understand is, let's say when you navigate from screen 1 to screen 5, so when you're on a screen 5, you're only expected to show the DOM elements of your fifth screen and the elements on your specific screen, like a user when you see your mobile app, right? So what happens is I've seen some applications where when you're on the fifth screen, you typically have all the elements from screen 1 to screen 5. So when Appium tries to sort of find elements, your DOM's not what you actually see on the screen, but the DOM's like complete components from screen 1 to screen 5. So we need to go back to the developers and sort of get this fixed as well. And as Srini said, if you see the way the mobile world works is you have different layers in between. So it's your client, then your server, and the server talks to another server which is inside a device, and that device has got an Android driven Appium server, and when it comes to iOS it's the WDA server, right? There are so many stuff which is happening in between, and all of them communicate to each other through your network. So if your network's slow, your tests are going to be slow as well.
What would be the best way to do parallel testing with Appium?
So the first point what we need to keep in mind is I've seen a lot of people in the community starting multiple Appium servers for multiple drivers. So when I say multiple drivers, it's your multiple devices. That's not the way how it works. So Appium has improved a lot from the server side, from the version 1.8, if I'm not wrong, roughly. Yeah. So you can start one instance of the Appium server, and you can start multiple instances of your Appium driver sessions. So which means multiple devices can talk to one server. So one thing we need to keep in mind when you start running parallel test is you need to consider certain desired capabilities. Like for example, you need to specifically give your unique device identifier so that Appium knows that okay, I'm having multiple devices and I have multiple driver sessions now because I see multiple unique IDs given to me. And similar way for Android, we need to respect the system port because that's going to be a unique number which where the UI automated 2 server will be running. And when it comes to your iOS, you need to give a unique WDA port as well. So if we consider these capabilities very carefully and give them some unique numbers on the ports, definitely a parallel is going to work really fine. So I've been working on, so me and Srini have been working on the parallel framework for last a year now, and we were the folks who tested out the beta version of Appium when parallel simulators were out for testing, and we haven't seen any sort of issues where the driver crashes, nor the driver doesn't know what to do when there are more than 2 devices or 3 devices. It's just that you respect these capabilities and sort of have your driver thread very safe, and things are going to work just out of box very well. Yeah, you have anything to add?
So to add on alongside another reason why things report Appium is flaky after a certain period of time after executing quite a lot of tests. My tests aren't running is they aren't handling the ports properly. They just lie around and hang around things, the node process hang arounds. And you should, after the session, once the execution is over, you need to clean the sessions properly out. You need to handle the port numbers, kill the port numbers, kill the node process that are hanging around, and it will make sure that the following tests runs properly. So you need to have the clean environment set up. Yeah, that's the main thing.
Advanced Appium workshop. That's something that you're familiar with. What can you tell us about that?
Yep, it was a wonderful experience. Having flown over from India and London, and we have been doing this for past 2 years now, doing advanced Appium workshops across the globe. And it's good to meet a lot of people and see how the community been growing up, and see and educating the community with a lot of cool stuffs what Appium has been going through for a lot of years now. And it was wonderful. Yesterday we covered a lot of advanced topics, including how do you measure Android battery performance, how do you execute tests, how do you handle quite a complex gestures. It's been a while. There are a lot of complaints in the community about the gestures, how it's been handled and things like that. And yeah, it has grown up a lot. Appium has grown up a lot. It's no more a baby.
A couple of things which we really want to bring to the workshop when we sort of drive the advanced Appium workshop is let the community know the new things that Appium is always getting into, the beta versions. To talk very specifically about what we did in this advanced workshop in Selenium Chicago is the point APIs, because Selenium moved into W3C standards, that's the W3C specifications, and Appium also sort of moved towards the W3C specs. And with respecting the W3C specs, a lot of APIs change, and we thought the community should know about it. And how do we sort of understand the specs and sort of try to write some good gestures into your application using the point APIs and not with the old fashion of your touch actions and things. And the whole idea behind driving these advanced workshops is sort of help people understand the APIs, how Android and iOS Appium architecture works, so that they can take it back, contribute back to the community and let the tool go bigger.